Ethiopia is gearing up preparations to host the second African Climate Conference this September. The nation was chosen to organize the summit due to its notable advancements in addressing climate change, especially through its Green Legacy initiative, which has enabled the planting of 48 billion seedlings in the past 7 years. Conference is anticipated to draw global leaders, government representatives and experts among others to discuss the significant challenges posed by climate change, particularly in Africa.
As an Africa, I think we need to promote that climate change is affecting the continent, even if we contributed less, but the impact is affecting Africa, the entire Africa, including our water bodies. So we need to show how climate change is affecting the resources, how climate change is affecting the life of the people, of the livestock, and so on. So it gives an opportunity for us to show for other development partners, for other, developed countries and so on, how climate change is affecting our resources. So this would help us probably in mobilizing resource, in mobilizing technical capacity, in mobilizing knowledge, and so on. So this helps in general to work with the other partners in mitigating climate change.
It therefore represents a crucial juncture where African nations must speak with one strong, unified voice to address the escalating climate crisis.
Mostly Africa suffered the way that the developed countries and how they interrupted the environment. So Africa suffered the exploitation of the environment by the great powers. So what we can do is just to negotiate with them and just tell them to compensate the cost. So that can be an initiative. And the other thing is we can do a lot of environmental mitigation and adaptation to combat against environmental impact on our resources and our livelihood.
Africa, despite contributing the least to global greenhouse gas emissions, bears a disproportionately heavy burden of its devastating impacts, from crippling droughts and floods to rising sea levels that threaten coastal communities. This summit provides an indispensable platform to demand climate justice and ensure that promises made by developed nations, such as those within the framework of the Paris Agreement, are finally materialized. The pledges of climate finance intended to assist vulnerable nations in adapting to the effects of climate change and transitioning to sustainable development pathways have largely remained unfulfilled. The Addis Ababa summit must serve as a catalyst for holding developed countries accountable to this commitment. African leaders must articulate a clear and united demand for adequate, accessible and predictable climate finance to support crucial adaptation measures, build resilience within communities and facilitate the adoption of clean energy technologies.
Climate change is real, and there is need for transition from boardroom discussions to action. So we are upbeat, and we hope that it will be a unifying factor in the whole Africa, that we will speak in one language for actions that mitigates climate change. We call for action. We call for action so that because the climate change as African, we are not the greatest contributors. There are people who contribute elsewhere, and the impact is on us, Africa. So we expect a lot of financing to mitigate the effect of the climate change caused by anthropogenic agents from other regions. So we are upbeat. We expect the international community to put into action the financing to mitigate the climate change.
Furthermore, the summit should emphasize the urgent need for enhanced adaptation support. African nations are already implementing innovative solutions to cope with the impacts of climate change, but these efforts require significant financial and technological backing. A unified African voice can effectively advocate for increased investment in adaptation strategies, including early warning systems, climate-smart agriculture, and infrastructure development that can withstand climate shocks. This summit is not merely a forum for discussion. It is an opportunity for Africa to assert its agency in the global climate discourse. By presenting a cohesive and unwavering stance, African nations can amplify their call for climate justice, ensuring that the continent receives the support it rightfully deserves to address a crisis it did not create. The world must recognize that investing in Africa's climate resilience is not an act of charity, but a matter of global equity and shared responsibility. The success of the Addis Ababa summit hints on the unity and determination of African leaders to demand and secure a just and sustainable future for the continent.